This is the Big O Show. 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 This.
So here's the putting green. See? There you go. Got two flags. One is over there where Cutter's Edge Pro. It's not coming out now. Come on. Come on, wind. Give me a little wind. No, unfortunately. But there you go. And this one says Big O here. There you go. So there's my putting green. It's about, I would say about 25 feet, something like that. I get to practice, have a little fun. See? And then, of course, we got, the bunkers. Got to have the bunkers, man. Got all kinds of bunkers there. You know what I'm saying? So that's a taste of our backyard. There's Maiden right there. Maiden. Bono, how you doing, Bono? Bono. Bono. He's a Carolina dog, by the way. These dogs are amazing. Their temperaments are awesome. But there is the Sylvester Palm, which is just beautiful. All right, call my guys, Will and Mike at Cutter's Edge Pro. They will take care of you. Dogs are not included, okay? Can't include the dogs. Those are mine. But the exceptional work, oh, baby. Oh, baby, yes. Make your home an oasis. CuttersEdgePro.com. Go to their Instagram page, by the way, so you can see a lot of the before and after work that they do. And it is exceptional, baby. This thing's been on here for about 9 months. No grass growing through it or anything like that. Right, Bono? Huh? Bono!
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When you move, you need a reliable company.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Hialeah Park Casino is turning 10, and we're bringing you an anniversary bash like never before. See a million, win a million. Join us every Saturday in August, where 10 lucky customers will have a chance to take home $1 million. Snap a selfie with $1 million in cash, post it on social media, and get ready to win even more fantastic prizes. Come to Hialeah Park Casino's 10th anniversary celebration and make history with us. When you see a million, win a million.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Howdy! Yes, sir. Welcome aboard. This way? Is it this way? Okay, there we go. Just a little bit. Okay. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Okay. Now we're better. Didn't have the lights all the way up. Anyway, welcome aboard. I see I got to go this way to kind of be a little bit more centered. Ah, yes. Boy, yesterday was a mission. I got to tell you, I really wanted to do the show yesterday, but by the time I got here and settled down, it was like 8 o'clock at night. And man, the traffic was a bitch. I drove from Montreal to Quebec after landing in Montreal. And so we're here to have some fun. So it cost me the show yesterday. But then again, I did a show on Saturday and Sunday. So, relax, take it easy. We have put out more content than most people do as it is when it comes to overall sports content. So appreciate all of you hanging in there. Just it was a mission. I gotta tell you, Montreal's nice, by the way, very nice, very clean. At least the parts that I saw, short amount of it. Quebec is nice too. I can't complain. People are very nice, typical of Canadians, right? They're known to be very nice people. So very, very nice. It's pretty cool. It's got, I had the Midwest folks for a couple of days, and now I've got Canadians. And then when I go back to Miami, it's like shell shock. It's like, holy shit, I'm back to normal again. Rude, crude, obnoxious, that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, it was interesting. Smooth flight. But once I landed and then I got my car, my Lord, the traffic inside Montreal is terrible. Holy shit! It took me like an hour just to get out of the damn city. You know what I mean? And then drove to Quebec. We are here. We are ready to rock. We're gonna see Alter Bridge tonight. See Miles Kennedy. See Mark Tremonti and the boys. See them jam. Have some fun. And then. Tomorrow and Sunday we'll be jamming with Metallica in Montreal. So there you go. It's a beautiful thing. Jeff says, welcome to Quebec, Big O. Enjoy your show. If you have time, come to Quebec City. It's a beautiful old city. I'll tour your fins up all day, every day. Thank you, Jeff. I'm always thinking dolphins. It's where is it? I got it. If you follow me on Twitter, you know. Where is it? Here we go. You know what's the name of my hotel? So there you go, Jeff. That's where I'm staying. You know where I'm staying now. What's it called? Jeff says Montreal traffic is a real mess. Yeah. One of our listeners, she told us yesterday on Twitter, she says, well, Montreal is known for traffic and construction. Apparently, that's what she says. I wouldn't know, but we'll see. I have not had any poutine yet. I'm not getting here at night and going to have poutine before I go to sleep. So I have not tried poutine yet, just in case, because I know that question is coming. I will try it. I probably will try it in Montreal when I get back. Because you guys gave me a couple of places to go to. Ruben's Deli, Schmidt's Deli, Ches Claudette, or St. Catherine's, those places. So I will be looking for those places. Great restaurants, food in Quebec, from what I hear. Yeah, that's apparently that's what I saw. That it's a lot of bars and restaurants, architecture too, very nice. So, Big O, have you seen where that clown Greg Lloyd said that Zach Thomas don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame and that he would have never made any of the Pittsburgh Steelers teams? No, I did not see it. And I really don't care, bro. You know what I mean? So who gives a shit what Greg Lloyd has to say? That's for a Steelers fan to worry about, not about me. I don't really give a shit. Greg Lloyd means nothing in my world. Greg Lloyd and what's on the bottom of my shoe is about the same, they're equal. So to me, I don't give a shit about Greg Lloyd. He can go play on the highway for all I care. Let's see. Miami Breaker says he's ready for Thursday Night Football. Gordon Shumway is in. Pat in Asheville. Oh, it's totally unacceptable that you don't work 13 days in a row. Do better. You're right. You're right. Johnny Rod says, morning, Big O. Do you think social media is a good thing or a bad thing for the public? Depends on how you use it, my brother. Everything is good and bad. You can enjoy a little whiskey. Do you have to drink 2 bottles? See what I'm saying? So it's up to you what you want to use social media for. If you want to use it to be hateful and spread negativity and be hurtful to people, then of course it's not good. But if you use it to promote your show, post interviews, exchange with people, I don't think it's so bad. I'm fine with it. I have no problem with it. Everything can be turned into a negative, my brother. You know what I'm saying? You can go bet on a game. Don't go betting your mortgage. You know what I'm saying? The money you need to put food on the table, that's not what you're betting. You know, there's nothing wrong with enjoying a little bit of anything, but you can exceed in everything. You can go enjoy your car and drive 75 miles an hour. Don't drive 150 in traffic. And, so social media is what you make of it. It's up to you. You want to go find and be part of negativity and bullshit and hateful stuff and hurtful stuff, then you're going to do that on social media. You're going to do that in life. You're going to do that in everything. So it's really up to you, sir, what you want to use it for and what you want to, because I see a lot of people use social media for a lot of good things, for charities, for raising money, for helping people. I just saw Dolph Freaky yesterday. She had 3 tickets and parking passes. Sounds to me like a good way of using social media. Pat in Asheville. He could not go to the scrimmage with the Falcons and the Dolphins. He reaches out to me and says, hey, I've got a pass. Do you want to give it out on the air? We gave it out on the air. I believe Jose Baños ends up winning it. How did we do that? Social media. So it's up to you, dude, what you want to use social media for. You know what I mean? Like anything in life. It's up to you. Make anything good, and you can certainly make anything bad. So, who is Greg Lloyd, says Pat Nashville. They have no Dairy Queen hot dogs, but they've got an A&W all over the place. The A&W is big here in Canada. So that it's like a Dairy Queen chill and grill or grill and chill or whatever it's called. The Dairy Queen store that serves food. They have it here. It's called A&W. You know what I mean? But I got to tell you, I hit Tim Hortons right away. Tim Hortons has one of the most underrated glazed donuts on the planet. Okay, I know the coffee is the baddest on the planet, and a bunch of you folks out there love I'm not a coffee guy. Okay, not a coffee guy. So I don't go to Tim Hortons for coffee or Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks or I don't care. The only coffee I drink once in a while is Cuban coffee. Okay, and usually I like doing that when I have a cigar. That's usually my favorite time to have a cup of Cuban coffee is when I'm having a cigar. But A&W is the one that they have here. But as long as you have a Tim Hortons, I got to tell you, that's dangerous for me while I'm here. Danger. I know some of you folks up north, you have your Tim Hortons, you lucky bastards. But as folks in the South, we have no Tim Hortons. And this is a message out to the folks at Tim Hortons. The hell are you waiting for opening up a couple locations in South Florida? What is wrong with you people? Come on, you're better than that. Let's go, Tim Hortons. Get down to South Florida. That place is so good, bro. So good. It really it's underrated. It really is. I don't have a lot of conversations with people about the glazed donut at Tim Hortons. See, remember, I am a glazed donut connoisseur. So that's what it is. All right, let's do it. The man, the myth, the legend that is Marcel Louis Jacques is ready to rock and roll.
All rise, football fans. As the Welton Rayon Miami Dolphins report with Marcel Louis Jacques is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Marcel Louis Jacques.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. How you doing, baby? You doing good?
I'm good. I just realized how big of an opportunity I blew this past weekend. Like now that I see the Purple Rain shirt on me, I was in Minnesota. I was on Lake Minnetonka. This would have been quality content, and I left the damn shirt in Miami. Didn't even think about it.
What, you wanted to do like something at Lake Minnetonka, like some Prince type shit or something? Is that what you're
I'll
trying?
have you know, I went on a dinner cruise with my boy and his family and a couple of our friends on Lake Minnetonka. And I asked, so where did Apollonia purify herself? Where is it? And they looked at me like I was speaking Latin.
Oh, why? They were all young?
No. I'm not going to say it, but you know. Like
They were lame? Is that what you're just saying?
Not lame. Not lame, just maybe not the target audience of that movie, I guess. I thought everybody liked Purple Rain.
Don't start with white people on that one. We're strong on Prince and Purple Rain. Bro, at Hialeah High, home of Cubans, okay? All right? Because of Prince that year, we unleashed a 10,000 cubic feet smoke bomb in the cafeteria and started a food fight. Okay? Yeah, folks at Hialeah, I am part of it. I was guilty. You ain't doing shit to me now. Okay? Yeah, I was part of releasing the oiled pig during the pepper rally. Yes, that was us. Yes, we glued the locks to the doors all over the school. Crazy glue. Yes! Anyway.
All I said is
I was a Hellraiser, by the way. No, seriously. In honor of Prince and Purple Rain, we had a choice of different color smoke bombs, and the Army smoke bomb that we bought was a purple one just for Prince. How about that?
I thought there would have been like a plaque. Honestly, like I thought there would be a plaque, there'd be like a known spot, like this is where they filmed Purple Rain. I has me questioning everything. All I know is I should have brought this shirt. I messed up. I'll wear that. That's my bad.
Yeah, no, I think we should change the city's name from Minnesota to, just Prince. Prince, that's it. Name the city instead of Minnesota, Prince. That's all, Something like that. You got it. Really, what is Minnesota known for outside of Prince?
Lakes.
Losing a bunch of Super Bowls and lakes? No, you don't want to hang on to that. You want to hang on to Prince. So I'm with you there. And by the way, Apollonia. Oof, boy.
Did they lose a bunch of Super Bowls, or did they lose a bunch of NFC Championship games?
No, four. 4 Super Bowls. 1 Joe Cap and 3 Fran Tarkenton. So one of them was to the Miami Dolphins. Another one was to the Dallas Cowboys. Another one was to the Pittsburgh Steelers, I believe. And somebody helped me out there, which was the 4th one too. So yeah. So Miami did get one of them on them overall. Might have been
he was what's it called? Prince is from. My bad. I was looking up just to make sure Prince was actually from Minneapolis. He is from Minneapolis.
Oh no, yeah.
I was expecting big murals everywhere.
Yeah,
all this.
Yeah.
I didn't personally see it. I didn't go looking that hard, but I didn't personally see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of weak sauce.
I've seen more messy murals in Miami than Prince murals in Minneapolis, and that's not right.
Right. No, I'm with you there. All right, let's go over some practice. What do we know about Waddle? If it's anything serious, he was walking on his own power, but who knows if it's some kind of little stinger or something on the side. What's the deal?
Right midsection. I wouldn't expect him to play tomorrow. It would seem like a weird risk for Mike McDaniel to use. Plus, he has been excellent throughout practice. I don't think you really need to see a whole lot from him. Maybe a couple snaps, couple series from him and Tyreek later on in the preseason. I just wouldn't expect to see Jalen Waddle tomorrow night. We'll find out the official word from the Dolphins tomorrow. But, he looked like he was in pain, but he got right up under his own power, right midsection, and walked directly into the locker room. We didn't see him for the rest of the day. Again, it's early in preseason. Preseason hasn't technically even started yet. It's early in the summer. He'll be okay. He'll be okay. And unless somehow he shattered his ribs and was able to walk somewhat comfortably that whole way to the locker room. I don't see it, but I don't want to speculate on things that we don't have a confirmation on. Who else got hurt? Alec Ingold left practice early yesterday, and there's one more that I'm forgetting, but those two are the big ones right there.
I think the other is.
I think Justin Bethel actually got hurt.
Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson also with the fingers.
And Jeff Wilson.
With the
It's
hand.
just going to pave the way for Devon Achane. This is why you draft. This is why you have a deep running back room right now. It would be, and Raheem Mostert also did not practice yesterday. He was there dressed, but did not participate. I would expect a good dose of Devon Achane this preseason. That should be something that all Dolphins fans are looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, I would imagine Mostert and Wilson aren't going to play. I mean, none of the starters are going to play. The only reason I thought maybe you'd play Tua for one series is for the offensive line. But the only problem I have with that is I know you're not going to play Teron Armstead. So if you're not going to play Teron Armstead, then, maybe you don't play, Tua. If you play Teron Armstead, then you can go out there and try Tua a little bit. But, like quick passes, just to kind of get a feel for the line. But here's the problem that I've been, as you amass information, your opinions and your viewpoints change. I don't think I need to see game one and see Austin Jackson and Liam Eichenberg. I kind of know what it is already, and it hasn't changed. And so I'm more like, let's get to Kendall Lamb at right tackle and Isaiah Wynn at left guard, please. Come on, enough already. Let's move on from these experiments. These guys are backups, if anything. They're not starter material. There's just no consistency there for it. And that's why I've kind of changed my tune on, maybe yesterday I was like, maybe you play Tua a little bit. I can understand why you don't have to play him now.
This offense, the first team offense, needs some snaps before the end of the preseason. I will say that. I think that there's much ado about nothing in terms of this offense struggling throughout training camp. I think it's more cohesion than anything. Like, yeah, it's the same system, and yes, Tua knows it very well, but he still hasn't taken live reps since December. He hasn't played with Teron Armstead since December, November. They haven't played with that top 5 offensive line since September, and honestly, it's a different top 5 now. So it's never been done. So like, there's some moving parts that I think need to be maybe tightened up before they go into SoFi to the team that kind of exposed them last season in the LA Chargers. I think they do need to play. And I would say I think Austin Jackson needs to play because of the overall lack of live reps that he has had since September.
Yeah, only Teron Armstead should rest. Outside of that, Connor needs to tune up his snapping. He's got to get consistent. Liam Eichenberg and Austin Jackson need a ton of work. And plus, you know what? We need to see if Kendall Lamb can continue to build on what he's been doing. And Isaiah Wynn yesterday was actually had a decent practice, correct?
Yeah, I want to see more of him at guard. I would love to see, again, Kendall Lamb as that swing backup, primary backup tackle. I don't need to see Rob Hunt. There's one more name I am forgetting.
Connor, you got to see Connor, bro.
You got to see, just because he wasn't there in the spring. It was his own accord, but he wasn't there in the spring.
And he hasn't been sharp.
Predictably, I'm going to give Connor more rope than
– For sure.
I'm going to give him more leniency than I would give Eichenberg or just Eichenberg because he hasn't been there. But I've seen high-level play from Connor Williams. We have seen high-level play from Connor Williams. But, would like to see more Wynn, more Lamb, more Dan Feeney even. Like just to solidify that backup, because that's the thing about offensive line. Those guys are going to get hurt. You're not going to play top 5 you're not going to play your top 5 the entire season, all 17 games. That second string needs to be sharp as well.
By the way, I do want to remind people, every team in the division has a couple of problems on the offensive line. This is a problem everywhere except maybe Philadelphia and San Francisco. Practically 30 teams have 1, 2, 3 problems on the offensive line. So this is a very common problem that is going on. So I know Dolphin fans are kind of freaking out, and you should, of course, to a certain extent. But don't think that everybody else isn't going through the same issues, okay?
Well,
everybody else is going through the same issues.
Here's the thing that people like. This is why it's a damn dog whistle argument. The like, oh my God, this O-line's going to get to a kill. They're going to get to a crush. They haven't gotten to a crush since Jesse Davis, was a turnstile against AJ Epinesa. None of those concussions last year were because it was this onslaught of pressure against them. It was Tua rolling out and extending
and holding on to the ball.
That's what kills me about these arguments. Like, and God forbid I speak out against it publicly and I'm labeled, well, that's a homer, blah 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 blah, super fan. You're just scared.
I say that all. I say it all the time.
Purveyor of truth.
Yeah,
that is my chosen profession. And the truth is, the O-line did not get to a kill last year.
And the truth is, Brandon Shell and Robert Jones did a very serviceable job at left guard and right tackle. Actually, they the other 3 spots were fine. Those 2 guys actually did a very respectable job. The running backs got 4.5 yards to carry, dude.
Yeah,
the coach didn't run enough. Tua, when he got injured, he held on to the ball. I'm with you 100% on this.
I'm not saying this O-line has 5 Pro Bowlers on it. I'm not even saying it has 2 Pro Bowlers on it. It's serviceable though. Like it will work. It's not elite. It's not, like you said, it's not the Eagles. It's not the Niners. It's not even the Falcons. Like it's a fine offensive line. This is my 3rd season here. This is definitely the best state that it has been in. This is definitely the best state. You're coming from the bottom. That the floor is literally the bottom of the league, but they have taken incremental steps up in these past couple of years.
And by the way, the line is also assisted by a very smart quarterback that should know when to get rid of the ball and could read, so it helps. Just like Marino, by the way. I know you're too young for this, but we used to talk about that line. Oh, they only allowed 12, 14, 16 sacks this year. It wasn't always the line. It was Marino that would get rid of the ball in 2 seconds. Okay, he made a decision or he got rid of it. Marino was excellent at all of that. He would not take a sack. He would not take extra hits. He would get rid of the ball quickly. And so it wasn't always the line. The quarterback helps you out too. And that's what Tua has to do also to help his offensive line be better also.
Like Tom Brady back in his Patriots days, he did have the best offensive line coach in NFL history, coaching that unit. But you and I probably could have blocked for Tom Brady because he got the ball out like that. And it's hard to hold the standard to Tom Brady like that. Is obviously he's the greatest player in NFL history. But that's the shining example of what getting that ball out rapidly can do. It's just, I know, Dolphins fans, I'm like you in the sense that when I see a false narrative, I want to combat it. I want to argue against it. I want to shut it down. But people if you see people saying this, O-line's going to get Tua killed. Like, I'm just so concerned about his long-term health, but this and that. It's a lot. It's usually a dog whistle, pearl clutching. That's what I meant before. It's a pearl clutching argument where they don't actually mean it. It's just a cool thing to hop on the bandwagon and say. Because again, if you watch the Dolphins, if you paid attention to the Dolphins last year, the O-line did not get to a kill.
No.
The O-line, it's not like when he broke his ribs in 2021, and that was a direct result of a blown assignment on the offensive line. This was Matt Milano pushing him pretty far after, away from the line of scrimmage and, after he released the ball. This was him being slammed to the ground while trying to extend the play back to the middle of the field. This was him being slammed to the ground again, extending the play and trying to get a pass off against Green Bay. It wasn't like, oh man, they just sent 5 and got bull rushed, or oh man, he just got it wasn't like that. Like, that wasn't when he got hurt. You know what I'm saying? So it just, again, it's pearl clutching. It's pearl clutching. It's making an argument, a disingenuous argument, basically. You don't care about his health. You don't care about the state of the O-line. Like, you see an NFL notify or NFL rookie or one of these stupid ass accounts post something, an unattributed quote from something that nobody with any sort of sourcing has said. I'm sure maybe Joe at the bar down the street might have said that. That doesn't give you the right to quote it and say like and present it as like a highly trusted opinion. But people just see these damn accounts post something and then their mind just like goes wild. They don't think to like, all right, well, what are the people in Miami saying? Like, what is the beat saying? Like, what are the people who are watching practice saying? Like, I'm not trying to like present myself as some self-important, aggrandized master, end all be all, but like, it's not just me. What am I saying? What is David Ferrona saying? What is Daniel Oyefusi saying? What is Joe Shad, Hal Habib, Alan Poupart, Omar Kelly? What are all these people saying? Like, nobody wants to actually do research anymore. They just want to see like, oh, somebody did it for me. It must be true. Like, it drives me insane. It drives me insane. I had to delete my tweet from yesterday because it got a little too popping. But like, I hate seeing that shit, man. Like, it's not true. Liam Eichenberg has been bad. Yes. Austin Jackson has been up and down. Connor Williams has been not sharp. But the context matters. Austin Jackson has not played consistent football since like October. Connor Williams did not go to spring practice, and he is still ramping up. And Liam Eichenberg is just bad. But like, this offensive line is not going to get Tua killed, man. If Tua gets the ball off or he throws the ball away when in situations that call for it, none of these conversations are even happening right now.
Yeah, I think changes are coming. I really do. I think they have no choice. You cannot start the season with Austin Jackson, Liam Eichenberg, and I think they know it in that building. So they're going to have to try something else, and hopefully, I think Lamb will be good at right tackle and Win at left guard. I think it'll be better options for them, and maybe those guys can maybe excel as backups. What do we know about? I'm not concerned at all. I think it's going to end up happening when it's all said and done. But do we know anything about the Christian Wilkins deal? Because I think the good thing is there's no animosity. We're not seeing what Jerry Jones was doing to Zach, and we're not watching, some of the other negotiations around the league that have kind of gotten a little bit, testy and hit walls and all that. None of that has been going on here. So something tells me that there's positive stuff being done behind the scenes. Do we know anything?
If I had to bet one way or the other, I would say something gets done before the start of the season.
So do I.
This is not something that they want to spill into the year. This is not something it's definitely not something they want to wait till after the year to figure out, because they
especially in the Wilkins camp. Especially in the Wilkins camp. They don't want to play on that final season.
No. So
nobody.
If I had to bet, I would say something. I can't give you a dollar amount or a goal line yard marker of where these negotiations are, but they are being had in good faith. They are being had respectfully. They're being had privately. Publicly, both sides are saying the right things. Like you said, it's not a Jerry Jones, Zach Martin situation where you say, well, if he's not. But also, Christian Wilkins is Zach Kent. He's not skipping like Zach Martin is. So I think that he is doing everything to show this team, like, look, man, I am not all about the money. I want my money. Like, I want that security. I want that reward for the work that I've been doing, which is natural and something he should get. But he's saying, I'm not going to let this become a distraction. I'm still going to show up. I'm going to do everything I've been doing since y'all drafted me. I'm going to be here every day. I'm going to show out. He's been probably the best Dolphins player at camp this summer. So, like, I would expect for him to be rewarded. That's what the new Dolphins are supposed to do. Yeah. The old Dolphins, the late 2010s.
Oh,
Dolphins,
they would let him go, bro, all the time.
What's that Magic Johnson meme? They're going out to some other team. Not this one. Not this. This is the new Dolphins team. Yeah. They keep their stars, draft, develop, re-sign. Step 3 coming up. And if they do not get something done, then I do fear.
This is the wrong player to not re-sign.
I don't like doing this. I don't want to speculate on dissent, but like, I do fear it. I'm not saying I have this on source. It is my personal opinion. I do fear it turning into something bad, because this is a player who's done everything he's ever been asked He's
For sure.
performed. He's one of the best run-stopping D tackles in the NFL. He is a team leader. He brings a certain energy, a certain dog mentality to this defense. Without him, I don't know how. Without him and without Jalen Ramsey back there, I don't know how much bite there is.
If you don't pay him, there's no hope for anybody else in the building. And that's exactly what those players will say. Oh, this place is bullshit. This place sucks.
What have I been saying?
You know that. Not that it's going to happen, by the way, folks, at all. I guarantee you the Dolphins will pay Christian Wilkins. This is just a super complicated deal. And they, while I know they're going to give him his money, they're also going to try to protect themselves too. Year in and year out on this deal that's very complicated, the ins and the outs, the guarantees and all that, the roster bonuses and all that kind of stuff. So they like to create deals that are flexible too at the same time. So it's really hard and it's not an easy deal. So that's why I say that this kind of stuff takes time. But I am 1,000% sure this thing will get done. 1,000% sure.
It's tough because of the reason that we've discussed in the past. Like we discussed last time I was on the show. Like just because you're not Aaron Donald doesn't mean you're not an elite player. It doesn't mean you're not an excellent player. But like when you look at the Jeffrey Simmons, the Dexter Lawrence, the Quinnen Williams, the Chris Joneses of the world, they're a little better pass rushers than Christian Wilkins is. Or in Dexter Lawrence's case, a 6'5", 350-pound behemoth. You know, we all talk about Jordan Davis. Like Dexter Lawrence was Jordan Davis before Jordan Davis is. I covered him at Clemson. He's to this day the biggest human being I've ever seen. So like there might have been some hesitancy to say like you deserve to be paid more than those guys or you should make more than them entering the offseason. But all those guys are signed now. You're worth what the market says you're worth. And the market right now is at a certain point. It's at that 18, 19, 20, 21 million a year range. It is what it is. You waited too long to get something done, whoever's fault it was. It is what it is. That's what the market is right now. But like, what have I been saying also for the past, year, ever since they started bringing in guys like Tyreek, guys like Teron, guys like Bradley Chubb, like Jalen Ramsey. Now, like your 4 highest profile players, none of them are homegrown. These are the highest paid players on your team. None of them are homegrown. They all deserve their money. But like, what does it say if a guy that you drafted, basically like the cornerstone of this new era of your defense, guy you drafted, and you bring in 4 guys, pay them out the you-know-what, and don't take care of your homegrown guy? That is the danger of paying guys that aren't homegrown. They've done a good job here in Miami over the past year and not seeping into the locker room and that not being a problem. But the situation has never arisen yet. It hasn't. This is the first time that they've gotten the opportunity to take care of one of their own while also paying, these free agents, these trade targets. You can technically, I guess, count Emmanuel Ogbah last offseason as well. He's not exactly homegrown, but he's been there for a couple of years. Like the precedent is set. It's just I don't see it happening. Like I don't see them not paying him. But if they for some reason don't or drag their feet, or then I could.
It's catastrophic. It's catastrophic. Yeah, it's catastrophic. Yeah, you pay Udonis Haslam, you pay Christian Wilkins, you pay those kind of players that mean more to your franchise than just being a good player. So I'm with you 100%. All right, we'll wrap it up with this. Best fight of the last week: Diaz and Paul or Ramsey and Chow?
That's funny. I didn't actually watch Diaz and Paul because I just
neither did I.
I didn't think Nate Diaz was going to take it seriously, and all the clips I've seen, he did not take it seriously. So I'm going to go.
I talked to a couple of guys that know a hell of a lot more than I do about MMA, and they told me they thought Paul was going to win because Nate is not a good boxer. And so if they were grappling, then it'd be a different ball game. So now that he wants to grapple and go into the octagon, that's where Nate Diaz might win. But a lot of guys told me that they didn't think Nate Diaz would win because they didn't think he was much of a boxer. And the thing is that, this kid Paul can actually box him. And so that's what ended up hurting him. But what'd you think of the battle between Ramsey and Chow?
It's very interesting. It's very interesting because like a lot of people do not like David Chow.
That's funny.
He has a past. I encourage everybody to go Google it. so that I don't get, he does have a habit of, threatening legal action if you discuss what he did, the specifics. So I just encourage y'all to Google Dr. David Chao, CHAO, and see for yourself what his history is. But yeah, I would take offense to good on Jalen Ramsey. I'd be mad too if I got I don't know, man. If I had like a wrist surgery or hand surgery, and somebody who was not involved in this world directly says, I don't know if he's going to come back and be the same.
Well, he actually is involved in this world. He's sports medicine, dude, and they ask him, just like Stefania Bell does the same shit. Just what's the other one that's out there? There's a couple of those kind of. And what's the difference between David Chao and Marcel Louis-Jacques? Doesn't Marcel Louis-Jacques have an opinion on Liam Eichenberg that he can't play?
Hey,
what's the difference?
Marcel Louis-Jacques doesn't speak on injuries that he doesn't know the technicalities and ins and out of.
Nobody can speak on it unless you're a real doctor checking the injury. But unfortunately, since they're not going to allow us in there, speculation is the game.
You can speak on it all you want. That is the beauty of the First Amendment. You can speak on it all you want. It's the freedom of speech is a protection from persecution, not from consequences or response. Okay. So he can say all he wants. Jalen Ramsey can also respond and clap.
Okay. But Chao is just as entitled to an opinion about it. He might be wrong.
I didn't say he wasn't allowed to speak his opinion. I'm saying good on Jalen Ramsey for clapping right back, because he is entitled to speak his response as well.
Sure.
But I love it. I love it.
But he is worthy of talking about this, because if you're not going to give us the real information and you're just going to keep it general, well, then we now have to go to experts, and he is a doctor, and maybe he's treated these kind of injuries before, and he's seen how the average athlete responds to it, and that's what he's talking about, which I don't think I have a problem with that. We all know there are freaks. We all know there are guys that will heal faster than others. Like we watched Terrell Owens, with the Eagles in, 7, 8, 9 weeks or something stupid like that he broke his foot, I think it was, or something. And he was, I don't know what it was, foot, leg, whatever it was. But the dude was back and had like 140 yards in the Super Bowl and 10 catches or something. Some guys can heal quickly, and then some guys take forever.
Have you read the stories about why he is not currently with a team?
I totally understand that. I totally understand.
I'm not going to go to a journalist who's been.
Then again, I would never hire Mike Tannenbaum. Listen, I would never hire Mike Tannenbaum for anything in football, and yet they have him on ESPN talking football. And that's the last guy that I would take an opinion on talent.
I think apples to oranges there, because there's a punctured lung involved, there's an amputated leg involved, and then there's like I stuck by Ryan Tannehill for a little too long. Like I don't think that.
I don't know. Hey, he drafted Sanchez and then re-signed him to a long-term deal. That's almost as catastrophic as a punctured lung. Okay, I just want you to know that.
The AFC title game, like I
no.
love it, but
that defense and the running game got them to the AFC title.
They got to an NFC. They got to the title game with Sanchez. They got to them.
They got to two of them. Two of them.
But no, I think that, and as Edwin Robles says, we forgot Tim Anderson versus what's his name, Jose Ramirez.
There you go. That was nice.
Woo.
All right, what do you got going on ESPN so folks can check you out?
I got a story coming out on Tua, Tua's offseason coming, I think, Monday. Going to get the final touches on that this weekend and have that out for you guys. Excited to share what his offseason looked like. Beyond that, man, football is back. It's your only chance to see the Dolphins at home until September 26th, right?
Right.
Until September 26th, give or take. So, if you are around Friday night, you don't have plans, show up and be loud. Like, especially, I just saw the Eagles got like 50,000 at their scrimmage, like at their practice in the stadium the other night. If you're tired of all these other fan bases shitting on you guys and like saying like they don't care, show up Friday night, man. Show out, have fun. It's the only time, like you said, you get to see this team at home for a month and a half. Let's have a fun environment there. Like, I'm excited to cover football again.
I'm with you there, bro. And follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ. Marcel, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you immensely.
Yes, sir. On ESPN Radio tonight, 9 p.m., 1 a.m.
Oh, nice. There you go. 9 p.m., 1 a.m. Support my man. There you go. I'll listen to you when I get out of the Alter Bridge concert tonight here in Quebec.
All right, bro.
baby.
Have fun.
Be good. There you go. Marcel, Louis Jacques, Welton Rayo, man, 954-966-4646. We're in hurricane season. I want you to save that number because you may need Dan or Jeff. By the way, Dan is going to join us next week, probably Thursday, and we're going to talk about that new law that DeSantis passed, which puts you at a disadvantage. And he's going to explain why it puts us, the consumer, at a disadvantage. And he's given the governor, unfortunately, he's given the insurance companies a little bit more power. He'll explain that on Thursday. So just in case, if you have damage to your home or business, condo, all those kind of things are different now. The laws have changed, and it kind of puts us at a disadvantage, unfortunately. Dan will explain that to us on Thursday. But listen, if you need lawyers that know how to get it done, they're in Hollywood. They take care of anybody in South Florida. They've got offices in the Keys also. Welton Rayom. Call Jeff Welt, Daniel Rayom. They are amazing people, and they can handle a lot of things from bankruptcy, all kinds of personal injury, damage to your home or condo from weather or anything else, vandalism. You call Welton Rayom. 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with Marcel Louis Jacques. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
While I'm here in Quebec. All right, let's do it. Let's talk to the man, the myth, the legend. That is Joe Shad and our essentialmovingexperts.com Miami Dolphins exchange.
It's time to talk Aqua and Orange. Miami Dolphins fans. Here's a man with incredibly high standards. In fact, he isn't impressed with Tyreek Hill's dominance, Jalen Waddle's speed, or even Teron Armstead's swag. It's the Essential Moving Experts Miami Dolphins Exchange with Joe Shad. When you're looking to move your home or business anywhere in the U.S. from coast to coast, call Essential Moving Experts at 305-602-8369. Flat rates and no surprise charges. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Call 305-602-8369. Let's talk football. Here's Joe Shad.
There he is, Essential Moving Experts. We thank Sean Williams and the boys, great sponsors of our program and this segment. Good morning, Joe. How are you doing, sir?
Good, buddy. So you're in Canada, eh?
I am in Quebec today for the next 2 days. We're here to see Alter Bridge, and then we'll leave tomorrow morning down to Montreal. And then we'll see Metallica on Friday and Sunday. 2 Metallica concerts. Nice. And then flying back on Monday. So, yeah.
Never seen Metallica in person. Enter Sandman is one of my favorite songs of all time. It's the best pregame song that any college football team has. Virginia Tech has that on a Thursday night. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Mariano Rivera had it every time he would come out to the mound for a save. It was Enter Sandman. So yeah, it's amazing, and it's going to be awesome because it's 2 nights and 2 completely different sets.
Wow.
So yeah, we're going to probably see a total of like 45, 50 songs in 2 nights. Plus we get Mammoth, which is Eddie Van Halen's kid, his band. We get Pantera, we get Five Finger Death Punch, and Nine Eyes Kills. So 2 bands open each night too. So it's a total of 5 bands in those 2 concerts, plus Alter Bridge tonight. So that's 6 bands in 3 concerts. So we're gonna have a little fun. You know, I worked my ass off last week in Canton, so I gotta, once in a while, since I started this platform, I haven't taken a vacation, Joe. This is kind of like my vacations while I still do this at the same time. So I gotta enjoy myself a little bit here. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm glad you're able to do what you love.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely one. Sports and music are definitely my main passions outside of my family and my dogs, and maybe crypto too. All right, let's get to it, my brother. Should we worry about any of the injuries? Do you know anything from Waddle to Jeff Wilson to anything else going on? Anything looks serious to you, or do you know anything about it?
No,
I know they're very
yeah.
quiet.
There's no information this morning about Waddle or Wilson. Neither injury appeared to be catastrophic, but we're certainly holding our breath and waiting to see. No reason to run Jalen Waddle out there in the preseason anyway. So as long as he's ready for the regular season, maybe a few snaps in the third game. But other than that, he was kind of holding his side, so it's hard to know what is that. Is it oblique? Is it ribs? Is it groin? We don't know. I don't know. But as always, when you don't see the information, you get a little more worried. You want to see that information come out quickly.
Right. Yeah. So hopefully he'll get back to practice, next week, and everything will be, kosher, and they'll just move on. I'm sure we'll find out down the line what the hell is going on. Did you think Mostert and Wilkins was more about rest than anything else?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, because it didn't look like Mostert got injured before that, right?
No, not that I am aware of.
Okay. All right. Your thoughts on the O-line. What have you seen? What disturbs you? And tell me, when the hell are we going to see Kendall Lamb at right tackle and Isaiah Wynn at left guard?
So Kendall Lamb, his focus has been more as the backup at left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'd have to look up how much right tackle experience he has in his career.
Yes.
Some guys are very particular about left side, right side. Some guys are much better left side, right side.
1,000% right.
Yeah. So like Aboihi has done most of his training on the right side. And
Brandon Shell couldn't play left side. It was like night and day. When you would put him on the left side, the poor man would struggle. And then on the right side, he did a very respectable job for Miami last
I would say that Liam Eichenberg is probably no longer favored to be the starting left guard, just based on what we've seen in practice, what we saw in the joint practices. He has a long way to go to reach what I'm sure is his personal standard. And then at right tackle, Austin Jackson is still giving up a few too many plays in practice. And so it'll be really interesting to see what alternatives they explore. I think they really want Austin Jackson to be the starting right tackle.
Of course.
Could they add somebody? I mean, I guess a boy. You mentioned Lamb. I still think it's more likely than not that Jackson is given the opportunity at the start of the season at right tackle.
Really? Wow.
Well, I mean,
it's just that the width.
You're going to put Boy or Lamb there, huh?
Yeah, I would put Lamb there and then have Jackson as my swing, but technically not a real swing. If the guy on the left side gets injured, I'd move Lamb over to left and then bring Jackson and, do whatever. Because Aboihi has not done anything to say, oh, yeah, no, maybe that guy, you know what I'm saying? So, and I'm sure that this is why I told people that they weren't going to kill themselves for Dalvin Cook. If it was a tackle or a guard, they would have killed themselves. They would have signed the guy right away. They would have traded for the guy. If there's a lineman available, I can see the Dolphins making a move. Not for a running back, but for a lineman, yes. And they just don't become available. And, Joe, I think a lot of people, and I mentioned this to Marcel, and I mentioned it to the listeners, everybody in the division has offensive line issues.
Yeah.
In at least
the Jets have been terrible.
In at least two spots. Every one of these teams have at least two sore spots on their line. And this is a problem everywhere except Philadelphia and San Francisco, to be quite honest.
Almost you just want every team who's not horrible.
Right, exactly.
As long as you don't have a glaring obvious.
Right. Exactly. And the problem is, you talk to any of the scouts that ask them about scouting now offensive linemen in the college level. It's impossible. They don't develop road graders anymore. They don't really know who's the guy that can run block. Why? Because they're all pass blocking. And on the snap, they're all running downfield already, which you can't do that in the NFL. There's a lot of things that just have the game of college football has changed, that it's made it harder for them to scout. And this is why we have offensive line issues everywhere in the NFL, dude. You know what I mean? I think the smart teams, Joe, are the ones that draft linemen every year. Doesn't matter, bro. Draft a lineman every year. Why? You're always going to need them.
Eichenberg was really good in college as a left tackle. He had sound technique and fundamentals and gave up very few sacks. How does that translate to left guard in the NFL? It kind of doesn't. It kind of hasn't. Austin Jackson was a developmental upside, big-time athletic left tackle in college. He actually put some pretty decent stuff on film as a rookie at left tackle, but it just didn't hold up. I think he's got a chance at right tackle. Neither one of those guys is overly powerful. The one thing Jackson has going for him is athleticism.
Yeah.
But he really needs to refine the technique. He's been working on footwork and hand placement. We all work to get better, but he's been working for a while.
Yeah, no, it's there's no more excuses anymore. There's no more time to wait, and the season is right around the corner. And I would imagine that some changes are coming after this game this week.
This offensive line coach doesn't give a crap. This Butch Barry guy. All right, now I don't know if he's a good coach or not, but I know he doesn't give a crap about where you were drafted,
right?
How much money you make. If you suck, he's not going to put you out there.
Right. Which is the right thing.
And, yes, Frank Smith is involved in that decision. Yes, Mike McDaniel is involved in that decision. But if Butch Barry says, I am not putting Liam Eichenberg on the field, I don't think we're going to see him.
Right. Yeah. Well, at this point in time, I think they need to start, experimenting with others as starters. We'll see when that ends up happening. Were you kind of shocked that there was no orange jersey? So kind of sending a message, nobody was good enough yesterday?
Yeah, that was very interesting. McDaniel said that the players were very annoyed at the results of the first practice. And Big O, I'll tell you, I watched those one-on-one O-line versus D-line drills at the start of yesterday's practice, and it wasn't perfect, but those Dolphins offensive linemen played with fury and anger and passion. They were throwing guys down to the ground. You love those drills. And I did at least appreciate the intensity. Connor Williams hasn't been great. I don't know if he's got contract on his mind, but he needs to be really good for himself contractually and for the Dolphins to hold up along the offensive line. So, but at least they played with passion, energy, and enthusiasm. Liam Eichenberg and Austin Jackson, for example, two very, very, very nice guys. But this Butch Barry wants people to be nasty and mean and aggressive. Teron Armstead, very, very nice guy. But when the snap happens, he turns into a freaking monster.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what this Butch Barry guy, I think, is looking for a little bit more. It's interesting. Mike McDaniel used the word edge, and he usually talks about fundamentals, technique, execution, and being smart, and all that stuff is true. So I thought it was interesting that McDaniel said he wants some more edge. And you say, okay, who are the edge guys, right? We've talked about alpha and all that stuff. Who's like Javon Holland, okay? Javon Holland wants to kick your ass and then chew you out on the field. He, alpha, man. I mean, this guy, who has Vic Fangio complimented publicly? Only two Dolphins defenders, Javon Holland and Christian Wilkins. Everyone else is working on their game. Well, why? Because those guys bust their ass. They are very.
Those guys are studs, bro.
Those
guys are freaking studs.
It means so much to them, right? And so it's just going to be really interesting to see Who brings edge for the Dolphins on offense other than Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, it definitely will be. Has Elijah Campbell won the starting safety spot next to Javon Holland?
I don't think so. I mean, I think he's a guy who Vic Fangio likes. Mike McDaniel went out of his way to compliment two under-the-radar players recently. One was Elijah Campbell. One was Cameron Good, the defensive end from Cal.
That's my boy.
I think he was a 6th or 7th round draft pick.
Yeah.
And so that tells you something.
I liked him last year. I thought he would make the 53, and I was actually shocked that they hit him on the practice squad all year because I like him, man. He's got size. He's got length to him. He's got athleticism. It looked like he was lost last year, and this is a different system, but maybe it fits him better or something because he's looking, or maybe it's just a second year. Now things maybe slow down a little bit more, and maybe he did his homework in the off season and kind of understands what teams are trying to do. But I really like Cameron Good. I thought it was one of those guys that could come under the radar, and since they need linebackers, that would be really good if that guy can step up.
Yeah, some depth, certainly some depth, and Elijah Campbell is a dog, no doubt. He would.
So is he at least
he would chew off your left arm to start in the NFL?
Is he turning? Is he turning the second turn on a race, and he's a couple lengths ahead right now? Maybe he hasn't won the race, but is he leading right now the race? Would you say that?
I still think that they signed Deshaun Elliott for a reason. And the thing about Vic Fangio, like Brian Flores, Josh Boyer, a lot of packages. So there will be a role for Elijah Campbell, but I don't know that it started.
Okay. So you think Elliott will end up winning it when it's all said and done?
I mean, as far as I've seen, he's gotten most of the first team reps. Now, of course, his good friend Brandon Jones is coming back from injury. And, Brandon said that he's not as fast or explosive as he'd like to be at this moment. And that's kind of telling.
Yeah.
That's kind of telling.
Yeah, it's not fair to him right now. He's really behind. If he's going to win this job, it'll be during the season. Because, blitzing, see, I don't know how good Elijah Campbell or Deshaun Elliott are going to be as blitzers and against the run. But I do know Brandon will, get his nose dirty in the run, and he is a terrific blitzer. So
the question is coverage. Deshaun Elliott's a little better in coverage, and he also can be a big hitter. So Elliott is a little more advanced in his career.
For sure.
And is a little more accomplished than Brandon Jones. Brandon Jones, we hope that he's not a, Brian Flores scheme-specific player.
Now, you said Deshaun Elliott is getting more of the snaps, but who's the guy that's been making the most plays?
Were you talking about Elijah Campbell? Yeah, I mean.
That's what I'm saying. Have you seen more Deshaun Elliott plays or more Elijah Campbell plays?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard. Honestly,
the practices some of the guys I've been to, I've seen more out of Elijah Campbell than I have out of Elliott.
How many have you been? How many of the summer practices? A couple?
Like 4.
I
think it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I can't say that I've seen a huge. I don't have much on that.
No. Okay. All right. From the little I've seen, Elijah has kind of stood out to me a little bit more, and that's why I think he may have a little bit of an edge when it's all said and done. I don't think he's going to make the team anyway. Maybe practice squad again, but the Braylon Sanders, at least it was good news. He'll be back next week. I think he's a little behind right now, right at the wide receiver spot.
The Dolphins?
Who's the 5 or 6? Who's the 5 or 6 that are going to make it right now in Joe Shad's eyes?
Dolphins depth chart. All right, let's go through it. Obviously, Tyreek, Jalen, Braxton.
Right.
All right, those are the 3 obvious. Then you get down to Chosen, Izukama, Craycraft, right?
So then, no, but what happens with Wilson?
Right. He has to be on the roster.
Yeah, they have no choice.
The only thing is, can they trade him for like a 5th-round pick
But they're going to
around the start of the
some
season?
salary up. They're going to have to pick some salary up.
I mean, I would rather keep Cedric Wilson on the roster. He's been better in camp than he was in the season. Not perfect. He's listed as second team ahead of Braxton Berrios. I don't believe that. I think part of that might be, if we can trade this guy. Yeah.
Right. It's just, it's showcasing is what.
So Craycraft is a special teams guy. So you have to think that he'd be ahead of Braylon Sanders, even though Braylon Sanders is a guy who could get plucked from your practice squad, but Craycraft is a system guy. He knows this system and has been with McDaniel before. Craycraft listed as second team behind Waddle, ahead of Robbie Chosen and Izukama.
Have you seen enough from Izukama now that the pads have been on? Because he
not a ton, but I think he needs to be on the roster.
Right, he was flashing before without the pads, and then now the pads have gone on, and we don't.
He's a drafted player. I have a hard time seeing him not making the roster. I mean, he was drafted last year in the 4th round, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he's been so bad that you're going to cut him. So I think he's on.
Okay. All right. The experiment on the offline tight end with getting Higgy with it, and obviously the other kid is not even playing yet. So he's had his share of injuries, by the way. He's barely played, and he's dealt with injuries last year and this year. I would worry about that already with this kid. But has it been too up and down with getting Higgy with it?
No, I like Elijah Higgins. 5th team on the initial unofficial preseason depth chart, but he's clearly ahead of injured Tanner Connor, and he's done more than Tyler Croft and Eric Saubert. So I don't think Croft and Saubert are locks to make the team. It's going to be interesting to see if one of those guys, maybe Saubert. I haven't checked into the guaranteed money.
I got a question for you. Are you saying that?
We have to look at the guaranteed money.
Okay. Are you saying that, Joe Shad, because Higgy started showing a little blocking the other day? And so is he just a pass catcher like the other kids considered, even though he thinks he can block also? But the other 3 guys are considered, the all-around solid tight ends, Saubert and Croft and Smythe. They're considered like the solid catchers, blockers. So Higgy the other day did pretty good in blocking. Is that something that makes you think that it might cost one of the other 3 guys their job?
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you that I have an evaluation on Higgins' blocking. I do think that it's my perception that he's a very worthwhile developmental prospect. I also have noticed here, according to Spotrac.com, that Saubert's dead cap would only be $850,000, which is not that much. And I'm trying to find Croft. 25,000.
Yeah, I think I was going to tell you that Croft is the odd man out of the 3. I don't think Saubert. You know what I was impressed with Saubert? He's bigger than I thought.
He's a big dude. Yeah, he's big like that COVID dude, the guy that wouldn't take the shot and got COVID for the first game. Can't remember his name.
Yeah. I know
the guy who likes guns and didn't take the vaccine. What was his name?
Yeah. I remember him. Yeah,
guy from the Bears. He's a big dude like that.
Yeah, just not as injury prone as that guy from the Bears. That was his problem more than anything else. It wasn't about the vaccine or anything. He was just.
And what's interesting? They're from similar schools, aren't they? We got to figure this out. So Saubert is just Drake guy, right? I think that's right. Which is a basketball school.
I'd be lying to you if I remember.
What name of the dude? Let's see. COVID Dolphins tight end. I can't remember this guy's name.
Somebody will come up with it on the chat board.
Shaheen.
Yeah, there you go.
Adam Shaheen. All right, let's see. Reference. He went to a school that's sort of similar to Drake. Let's see. Ashland. There you go. So it's funny because obviously Chris Greer likes the SEC and the Big Ten and that sort of thing. But there are a lot of dudes on the bottom of the roster from Texas A&M Commerce
Smaller schools.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool that they do both. You know, they go for the blue bloods in the draft, the Jerome Bakers from Ohio State, the Tua Tagovailoas from Alabama, but then they also really try to find the Kader Kohus, and I find that interesting. These guys' stories. I'm publishing a story in tomorrow's Palm Beach Post online and in the paper about this dude Aubrey Miller, an undrafted linebacker from Jackson State, played for Deion Sanders, started his career at Missouri, 4-star recruit, former Mr. Tennessee. This dude told me that he wants to make a big hit on the opening kickoff on Friday night. And that's the chance he has to make the team. And so, you know, for a lot of these guys, they don't want to play in the preseason. You know, I don't think Mike Gesicki was thrilled that he was playing so much in the preseason last year. But he needed the reps because he was trying to figure out this new offense. And McDaniel said, look, it's not a punishment if you're a starter. Like Austin Jackson and Liam Eichenberg are going to be out there, aren't they? They got to be. They got to be.
They got to be. They got to
be out there.
They got to be.
Right? So what do you do? So if you put them out there tomorrow night, do you also put out Connor Williams, obviously not Teron Armstead, Connor Williams and Robert Hunt? You go with 4 starting offensive linemen for a couple of series? I think so. Why not? Right?
I can see Armstead not playing, everybody else.
No. Yeah, but the other 4 guys,
yes,
you're on board with a couple of series with, let's say Mike White starts this game and Skyler the next.
Yes, sir.
McDaniel wouldn't tell us who's starting.
Yep.
But
all right, I know I got to let you go quickly here. What's going on with Dalvin Cook? Because
his birthday. Happy birthday, Dalvin.
I still think he's going to sign here when it's all said and done. With all the bullshit that went on, I still think he wants to sign here. Now, I thought he would have signed last week, but
I know. I'm hearing Jets.
Why?
I'm still hearing Jets.
Why?
I'm just telling you what I'm still hearing.
I know, Jets. but why would it be Jets? He would have signed already. So
unless he doesn't want to practice.
Exactly. So is that what it is? He just wants to get through a couple preseason games, and
I think the Jets are. I think the Dolphins are fine at running back. I think A-Chain has really created some enthusiasm.
So you're agreeing with me now? 5 to 10 carries a game
for A-Chain?
Yeah.
Yeah, and a weapon out of the backfield, and they want to use Mostert more in the passing game.
I've been saying it from the day he drafted, 5 to 10 carries a game that guy's going to get.
And they can both play slot receiver, and they can both do all sorts of creative things.
Yeah.
So I mean, this regular season can't get here soon enough, man.
Amen.
This Chargers thing, man. Who's going to stop? Who's going to block Bosa? Who's going to block Bosa?
Oh, that's easy, bro. Obuchi, whatever. They'll put him out there and he'll stonewall him. That's all.
Who?
Obuchi or whatever.
Boy?
Yeah, that's it. He's ready to shut down Bosa, bro. All right, what do you got going on the Palm Beach Post quickly so folks can check you out?
Go online, read what I wrote about Mike White. Mike White from Pembroke Pines, 20 minutes from Hard Rock Stadium. Obviously going to play tomorrow, might start. We don't know. Probably split time with Skylar Thompson. Got off to a slow start. Big O, he's been hot. All right.
He's number 2 right now.
Yeah. Not a lot of guys look great against the Falcons. He was very encouraging. We like that Mike White is coming on. So read that and look for that Aubrey Miller story about how the preseason means everything to this undrafted player.
Well, we figured it out. If there's nobody on the practice facility and the place is empty and it's just you guys, Mike White doesn't want to impress you guys. That's what he does to all of us. But now you bring in the crowd, and Mike White says, now it's time to ball, and he has separated himself, and he has become the number 2.
Tua mentioned that he's a smart dude in the quarterback room, and so, maybe he doesn't have the experience of a Ryan Fitzpatrick, a Teddy Bridgewater, or Jacoby Brissett, but Mike White is a smart dude, and he's having a positive impact in the quarterback room.
Yeah, I think Teddy is also a really smart dude, too. I just think physically he just lacks what you need at this level. Follow him on Twitter at Shad Joe and catch his work there at the Palm Beach Post. Joe, as always, appreciate you, my brother. Thank you.
Enjoy the show.
Thank you, sir. I definitely will. A little Ultra Bridge tonight here in Quebec. Essential Moving Experts. Call my guy, Sean Williams. They'll take care of you. 844-368-5750 is the toll-free number. You can also call them there at the 386-213-4054 number, long moving services, home moving services, long distance moving services. Their home base is in Daytona, but they service all of the country. So it doesn't matter if you're moving within the city, within a county, within the state, from state to state, across the county. It doesn't matter. Office relocation. Plus, they'll give you on the house. If you're moving from one house to another, but you need to store your goods for a week or two or up to a month, they'll do it all on the house. So your office, your home, you need to store the stuff because the next place you're moving to isn't ready for another week or another month. You can do it. Now, if it's longer, then you can negotiate a price. But they will do it up to a month on the house. And flat rates, no surprise charges. Call my guy, Sean Williams, 386-213-4054 for EssentialMovingExperts.com.
You've been listening to the Essential Moving Experts Miami Dolphins Exchange with Joe Shad. When you're looking for local, home, long moving services or office relocation, call Essential Moving Experts at 305-602-8369. Flat rates and no surprise charges. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Call 305-602-8369. Miami Dolphins fans, follow Big O Radio Show on all platforms to keep up with your favorite NFL team.
All right. Don't forget, folks, Sloman's Home Shield, proud sponsor of our program and our platform. We love Sloman's Home Shield. They've been protecting Americans for over 100 years. Call them 1-800-ALARM-ME, folks. And if you want to get a free doorbell camera, tell them that Big O sent you. You'll get that free doorbell camera. And when you use their low-cost central station monitoring, folks, you are going to get it all. That's the beautiful thing. You'll get the professional installation when you use it. You'll also get an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3-arm doors, and a backup battery. Tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you. 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. All right, folks, let's get to it. Our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
All right. There he is. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
I'm doing good. How's my homeland treating you?
Very good. Actually, very clean. Obviously, your people are just nice.
I'm the exception. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. You're the exception, according to Dolphin Nation. Anyway, and the two ears, of course. No, but seriously, no, it's although, bro, the traffic in Montreal, holy shit, it took me close to an hour to get the hell out of the city just to drive to Quebec, bro. It was brutal. Now, somebody that apparently is Canadian, she told me on Twitter that Montreal is known for traffic and construction. Yes.
All the time.
Okay, so she's right. She must know. She's like you. She must be Canadian. So she knows her stuff. So she told me, yeah, be prepared for that. So, yeah, when we go back for a couple of days, it's going to be a pain in the ass. There are no hotels, no nothing, because Metallica has sold the place out, So it's like 80,000 people. Plus, the Alouettes are playing at home.
You're going to go check out some Canadian football?
Dude, I want to, but guess what? It's the same night as the concert, Friday night.
Oh, man.
So I lose. I because Ottawa's close by, and I think even I think Quebec is home too. I think actually, right? Or is it Quebec? Yeah, I think
Quebec doesn't have.
No, not Quebec. Is it? No, it's Ottawa, the one that's home. The other one.
Correct. Toronto's not that far either.
Right. So I could drive there too, but dude, none of them are on Saturday. They're on Friday. That sucks. So Friday night in Montreal with the CFL game and Metallica, obviously the city's going to be a rocket, dude. So I haven't had the poutine yet. Now I'm told Ruben's Deli, Schmidt's Deli, Chez Claudette, or St. Catherine's to also go to. Those are all approved by Alan Poupart.
St. Catherine's a street, though. It's not an establishment.
Well, they told me there's a restaurant called St. Catherine's.
Not familiar with it. Mind you, I haven't been there in 40 years, so my Montreal knowledge isn't what it used to be.
Right, exactly. Okay.
Check out the international fireworks competition, though, if you can.
What was that again?
Check out the international fireworks competition if you can.
Where is that? When is that?
I sent you a link when we were at the Dolphin Camp.
Oh, okay. I'll look at it. Okay. All right. Okay. I'll check it out. Okay. All right. Sounds good. This bastard Greeper went to the damn aquarium yesterday without me. They got freaking polar bears in there.
Nice.
In the aquarium. Yeah, that's what I want to go see a polar bear.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it before, but it's still kind of cool to see a polar bear. But yeah, man. And I haven't had my poutine because I got here last night. There's no way I was going to go to sleep and eat poutine late at night.
Not that late, no. Have you had a coffee crisp yet?
No, not yet. Not yet. So I should. Any store will have that.
Any store will have a coffee crisp. Any like convenience store will have a coffee crisp.
Okay, so I definitely will try the coffee crisp before I get it, and I'll probably have some poutine today or tomorrow, for sure. I got to try it. I've never tried it. In fact, when I went to Canton, I went to this place. It was called Mike's Place. Great place, dude. Awesome. The menu was extremely extensive. So extensive, they had poutine. Okay. I did not order it because I go, dude, I'm going to Canada next
There you go. You got to have the original. Yeah.
Got to have the original. You know what I'm saying?
Smart man.
So I got a question for you. What the hell is Mitchell Agude and Cameron Good doing to this coaching staff when it comes to decisions about linebackers? We've all talked about how you need linebackers. And quietly, they might be developing two young linebackers because these two guys continue to make plays. Agude's been shining for a while now, and now Good's also doing his share also. So talk to me, because I know you watch this stuff closely, and Dolphin fans desperately want some young linebackers. Talk to me about these guys.
Yeah, they're going to run into a numbers problem. Because when you talk about those guys, and we need to separate inside linebackers
and outside
edge defenders, outside guys, right. which is the category that Agude and Cameron Good fit in. So now, but you also have Jalen Phillips, you have Bradley Chubb, you have Emmanuel Ogbah, you have Malik Reed, who you signed as a free agent in the offseason. And then you add on the two young guys, Agude and Good, that's six. They're not keeping six linebackers edge defenders.
Do any of them play inside? Do they have the flexibility of playing?
Well, that's where Van Ginkel comes. And I haven't mentioned Van Ginkel because he's one guy who could slide inside. Because otherwise, then you're looking at seven. Obviously, Phillips and Chubbs are making the team. Ogbah's making the team. He's making $15 million guaranteed. He's not going anywhere. No. And then Malik Reed, they signed as a free agent. I don't, off the top of my head, know how much guaranteed money they gave him. I don't imagine it's a whole lot. Is it possible they keep the two young guys instead of Malik Reed, who hasn't shown a whole lot and who also has been dealing with some injuries? Again, as you said, those young guys are giving the coaches things to think about. They're not. I think Van Ginkel is solid on this team, even if they count him as an inside linebacker. And it may come down if Malik Reed doesn't do anything in the preseason and Good and Agude continue to flash. Not impossible. They wind up keeping those two young guys instead of keeping Reed.
Let's see. He got $100,000 signing bonus.
That's not keeping him on the team.
Yeah, it's not keeping. His average salary is $1.2 million. So yeah, he's not making any real money yet. So yeah, they could easily cut him overall. So yeah, I would think that because we keep hearing about these young guys, and you followed this long enough, and a lot of fans out there understand this. Linebacker is one of those positions that, dude, you better watch everything you're doing, because guys, defensive tackles and linebackers will come out of late round picks or undrafted all the time to develop into really good players for you.
I like Good last summer, I'll be honest with you. And he wound up caught up in a numbers game, which is why he didn't make the team. And
I thought you won't be able to hide him in the practice squad. That's how much I liked him. I even told Joe Rose, because he's a Cal guy, and I said, dude, I love your guy. Good. I thought he was going to make the 53 because I just saw enough there that I said, oh, man, if they put this kid on the practice squad, somebody will scoop him up. And I was really surprised and nobody scooped him up. And I'm glad because he's got size, dude. He's got length. And this is why I asked you if they're moving any of these guys inside, because I've been to a few practices, but I haven't noticed them inside. And if you show some versatility in that sense, then all of a sudden you become really valuable to that position.
Not that I could tell you if it's not on the depth chart or the player doesn't acknowledge it, but it's been acknowledged with Van Ginkel, which is why I can freely discuss it with you as a guy who's done swing work. And again, he's valuable because he also can help you on special teams as well. So to me, he's the lock to make the roster. And considering the depth they have outside, it's almost, you almost count him in as an inside guy, along with obviously Duke Riley, Jerome Baker, and David Long Jr. And the question now becomes, where does that leave Channing Tindall, who has shown a little bit more in training camp than he did last summer, but
still not enough.
Still doesn't look like some kind of like an impact kind of guy.
Yeah, still not enough, unfortunately. Yeah, no, I'm with you there. It's been a shame with Tyndall, but again, it's where you maybe one doesn't hit, you find something else somewhere else with a Cameron Good or Mitchell Agude. I mean, Agude, and by the way, Agude is probably slightly ahead of Good, right?
I don't know, and this is where I'm going to be honest with you. During the joint practices, I focused on the Dolphin offense versus the Atlanta defense, and I had Omar focus the other way around. So he had more of a look on the defense. My understanding is I think Agude may have had a sack. I don't know what Good did, to be honest with you.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I know Agude has just flashed all over. All right. Offensive line work. I've asked all the guys, when am I going to see Kendall Lamb at right tackle and win at left guard? Because the experiment, I think, has gone on long enough, and we don't get enough of a positive reaction from Jackson and Eichenberg to feel good about their progress so far.
I would not agree with you when it comes to the right tackle position. I think it's Austin Jackson not in pencil, in pen. I think I think he's actually had a pretty good camp. Yeah, he's gotten beat every once in a while, whether it be one-on-one drills, which in the grand
it doesn't bother you that when he gets beat, it's bad. It's bad.
Getting beat. I'll be honest with you, Austin Jackson's been much better than Connor Williams in training camp. And I mean much. If you're going to ask me the two problematic positions right now, it's left guard and center. I think Austin Jackson actually has had a pretty good camp. Robert Hunt's gotten beat also.
I know Hunt has struggled some. I think these guys with contract issues, it's getting to them a little bit, Hunt and Connor Williams.
I don't know. You mentioned that last time. I don't know. It just
because it's a drop off that there's no answer, there's no excuse for it. You know what I mean? It's like, we know you're better. Why aren't you better? It's not that you're not that good. You're good. Yeah. You're inconsistent because something's on your mind, bro.
Maybe the psyche is affected. Who knows? I see Kendall Lamb right now as your swing tackle. Pretty solidly locked in. I don't see Kendall Lamb as the starting right tackle. I think it's going to be Austin Jackson, Teron Armstead left tackle, Connor Williams at center, Robert Hunter right guard, and left guard. Who the hell knows? No, I mean, could be Liam Eichenberg, could be Isaiah Wynn, could be Robert Jones.
Do you like what you've seen from Isaiah Wynn?
Yeah, not great. I'm not sure the two best guys I've seen at left guard so far haven't been Robert Jones and Lester Cotton, to be honest with you.
Wow.
So, and then the preseason games and the joint practices with Houston next week are going to tell us a little bit more. And at some point, they're going to have to pin down on one guy and just stick with him.
Do you think that, I mean, Atlanta and Houston, I almost think like, man, could you get better teams to help prepare you for the season?
Wow. No, I
get it. It's all, it's all in the same area, Southeast and all that kind of crap. So although Houston's not really Southeast, but it's kind of close to you. So I get it. That I know why. I understand how preseason schedules are made, by the way, folks. Okay. I'm not naive. I'm not stupid. I know what's going on, but it kind of sucks that you use a couple of mediocre teams.
Although they had
prepared for the season.
Yeah, this was why, and I'm with you on the preseason schedule the way they do it, but they had Las Vegas last year, which made zero sense because
right.
geographically more apart. The Houston connection for joint practices is obvious with D'Amico Ryan's now head coach having coached with Mike McDaniel in San Francisco. So, that made a whole lot of sense. No, they could have gotten like better teams, but I think Atlanta, again, in the NFC South, which is kind of
it's terrible.
For a better word, kind of a garbage division. I mean, they might win that division this year.
New Orleans might have been the best team out of the NFC South to help you prepare because they got a good defense, and that would have been a good test for the offense, overall.
Correct. They used to play New Orleans all the time in the preseason, and that stopped. I don't remember when.
What happens with Dalvin Cook?
That's a great question. A great question. Dolphins now are back to being the betting favorites to sign him.
Joe Shad thinks it's the Jets. I still think it's the Dolphins. I think it's been the Dolphins from the get-go. I don't think he wants to sign anywhere else. I think he's just frustrated that nobody offered him money. Because from what I heard, the money's not much of a difference that everybody's offering him.
No, correct. And there will come a time when he was like, okay, I need to get my ass into camp somewhere. And they'll be like, okay, I'm not getting any more money, so let's go ahead and do it. Yeah, and it makes perfect sense. And now also Kareem Hunt, who
didn't sign.
Correct. Supposedly he's got offers from other teams. Could the Jets be one of those teams? Because he fits in for what the Jets need, maybe even more so than Dalvin Cook, because Dalvin Cook may be playing the prima donna guy. Like, no, I'm no backup to anybody. I don't care about Breece Hall. Whereas Kareem Hunt, who's more desperate for a team, might be more amenable to be like, okay, I'll do your lead role until this guy's back, and then I'll be the complimentary back. So
that makes a lot of sense what you're saying right there. That makes a lot of sense. Plus, I think they got the feel in New York that he wants to be in Miami when it's all said and done. He's made it feel like some people, his feed has all Jets. Not really. If you look at it, it's Jets stuff that's including him in it. It's not about the Jets. It's about Dalvin Cook being mentioned in the Jets thing. And that's why some of you out there, it's like you're not really paying attention to what's going on. So I still think he's going to be here when it's all said and done. I really do. I don't think he ends up anywhere else. I don't think anything has changed.
I'm tempted to think that you're going to be right. And the worst thing, if I were to advise him, the worst thing he can do is don't sit out the year because you don't get the contract you want, because I'll point you to Le'Veon Bell and see what that did for his career.
Bro, go get your $4.5 million from Miami. You're getting 2 more from Minnesota. You're making 7. You're fine, bro. Just move on and look at the landscape. They don't care about you. None of you. It don't matter if you're Derrick Henry, and it doesn't matter if you're Saquon Barkley or Aaron Jones or Joe Mixon or Eckler or Josh Jacobs, or it doesn't matter. They don't give a shit about you, bro. So take whatever you can get now, because it's only going to get worse.
Correct.
It's not going to get any better. More people will become available in free agency and trades and all that. That's what's going to end up happening. They're not scooping these people up. It's crazy.
And it's a tough pill to swallow for guys who have always been special in their field. Now to be told, you guys are pretty much interchangeable. Doesn't matter. You don't want to play for that money, we'll get somebody else. That's a big blow to the ego. And don't kid yourself, all NFL players have a lot of ego. So big time.
Tough. Bro, there's no freak bigger than Derrick Henry.
Yep.
And nobody in the league is saying, you know what, man? We're a running back away, or we're a dynamic player. Let's go trade for this guy. And this guy will bring us a title. And nobody makes a move for Derrick Henry, dude. How weird is that? Like,
it's not if you understand the way the game is going. Plus, Derrick Henry's got a lot of mileage on his body too.
Yeah, but you figure they're so desperate at this point, they'll probably take a 3rd rounder for him right now. And you could add a piece that will definitely take you to a title. You know what I'm saying? And nobody makes a move for that one guy that is bigger and better than anybody that's available in the last 10 years. And that tells you all you need to know about the whole position. So if Dalvin Cook is smart, brother, get it done right away already. You
Agreed.
know,
Or when you're ready to, whenever you're ready to play. It's just
all right. So Mike White is like, if this was a horse race, he's like 8 lengths in front of Skyler right now. Is that what you have?
I said all along that Mike White was going to be the number 2. And
Yes, you did.
As bad as he looked in the offseason, and he did look bad.
Yeah.
I heard you with Joe before you made the point. It's like when the first practice in front of fans, all of a sudden it's like boom,
night and day.
And every practice, I mean, he still has a few throws here and there that are bad, really bad throws, but overall he's been really, really, really solid. Yeah. So if that competition's not, again, I'm not even sure there ever was a competition. If there was, if it's not over, it's pretty close to it.
Yeah. And by the way, this is another example for those of you out there that are arm queens. It's not about the arm, bro, because Skyler has the best arm. He has the strongest arm in camp.
Correct.
But that has nothing to do with him. Mike White has, just like Tua, it's about intelligence and ball placement and those kind of things. In the end, that's what makes you a great quarterback, not because you can throw it 150 miles an hour. And sometimes too many of us have this love affair with just athleticism. And yeah, when you saw it early on, Skyler has more athleticism to him. But since the lights went on, dude, since the fans came in, so in other words, remember, Mike White doesn't give a shit about you and me. Okay. So while we're there, it's like, I'm not here to impress you schmucks. Okay. When the fans get here, now I'm here to impress them. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the way.
Yeah, but it's weird though. It's completely weird because it's like,
it is.
Okay. I mean, we joke about, I don't care about the media and all that. And it's like, once the fans are here, I'm going to impress the fans. Obviously, that's not what it. But there was something. It was like almost overnight. All of a sudden, he started bawling.
Back in the day, you'll remember this. Keith Jackson, he wouldn't practice. It would be frustrating. And then on game day, Marino could find him in the open field, and he'd be making plays left and right. But that dude never practiced, and Shula hated it. You know what I mean? But he tolerated it because he was productive when it counts. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those deals, man. All right, what do you?
Most talented tight end in Dolphin history.
Probably, yeah, I would say. I mean, McMichael had incredible gifts. Keith Jackson was a little better. There's no doubt. But let me tell you, Randy could have been even better than what he was. Okay. And he was good here for Miami, but he could have been even better. He has some sick athleticism, bro. Randy McMichael was a good tight end.
It was also at a time when the quarterback play wasn't necessarily terribly
accurate. Right. He didn't have Dan Marino.
No.
Which helps Keith Jackson out a lot. All right, what do you got going on SI so folks can check you out, my brother?
Well, we're going to have a overall preview of the preseason game opener against the Atlanta Falcons tomorrow. I'm going to do a story on, I'm not exactly sure what number 10 or 12 players to watch in that preseason opener, and we're going to attack the issue of Tua in the preseason.
Okay. All right. I thought of playing him, but if you're not going to play Teron Armstead, it's not worth it. And plus, I've kind of seen enough of the experiment. You apparently like the Austin Jackson experiment. I don't. I think you can't start him. But the whiffs are too bad. That's my problem with Austin. But because of that, I probably would hold out Tua on there. But I was up until yesterday. I was like, hey, why not play him for a series? But, it's just the struggles on that line. And you're not going to play Armstead anyway.
So. No, hell no. But here's the thing. If you remember last year, the first series of joint practices was against Tampa Bay, and the way the offense looked in those first 2 games, it's like, no. So that offense is like sharp. It's clicking. No need to see anything. This week against Atlanta, the offense wasn't nearly as sharp. Where it's like, nice. It would be nice to see the offense get back to clicking a little bit.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, follow him on Twitter at Poopart NFL and catch his work there at SI doing his thing. AllDolphins.com. As always, Alan, thank you, my brother. Have a terrific week, my friend.
Enjoy Montreal and the beautiful province of Quebec.
I definitely will, man. Beautiful place, that's for sure. Thank you, sir. EJD Construction. We love talking about Eric and all the great people at EJD Construction, 305-433-4843, Dade or Broward County. only, okay? They got a lot of work, and they do a lot of their work in Dade and Broward counties. So if you happen to live in those two counties and you're looking for custom home construction, major home remodeling, you need to add a second floor. You know, one of our listeners unfortunately had a fire in their home, so everything inside was burnt up, and so they had to remediate the entire home. So they gutted inside, and they can do that. Again, full contractor, folks. So they do it all: custom home construction, major home remodeling. We're not talking about a handyman. Okay, so if you want to build a balcony, which we just got a listener now that is actually building a balcony in their home in the second floor. So that's actually pretty cool, man. One of our listeners built an observation deck. I mean, all kinds of things, modernizing the kitchen. That's been done before. You know, so we've had listeners doing all kinds of different projects for their home. And EJD Construction can get it done for you, get those permits done. 305-433-4843.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
Right. Thank you all for tuning in, as always. By the way, thoughts and prayers are with our friends in Hawaii, the island of Maui. If you have not seen it, at least from this morning when I was preparing, at least already 6 dead. I would imagine that that number is going to go up. There were people jumping into the ocean to get away from the fires, okay? I mean, it seems like that island is on fire, and it is scary, scary stuff, dude. I mean, the stuff that's going on all over the world, how our climate is changing, and we're paying the price for it, dude. And so, you know, prayers to our Hawaiian friends out there who are just absolutely going through a brutal time. And it is so sad to see, you know, those fires. We see them in California all the time during the summer. Scary stuff. We saw an entire city get burned down last year in California. An entire city disappeared. Just sad, man. So prayers to our friends in Hawaii. Hopefully you guys are able to get through it. Friday, tomorrow, Inter Miami will take on Charlotte at Drive Pink Stadium for the quarterfinals of the League Cup. We'll see if the boys can advance to the semifinals after Charlotte beat Houston. Looking forward to that. Unfortunately, I'll have to watch it recorded because I'll be at the Metallica concert. I'll be checking my phone, obviously, just to check for the updates, but I'll definitely watch it when I get home. Get to the hotel. I am definitely looking forward to that, man. That's going to be freaking awesome. Listen, I've always been into local soccer. I've always been an enormous supporter of local soccer. I've worked with all the local soccer teams. So, you know, and obviously I worked with Inter Miami for a short time too. And I got nothing but love for local soccer, nothing but love for the Moss family and Inter Miami. I know they're going to get it right. I know they're going to win here. I know they're going to, you know, kick ass. Even through all the crap that they've gone through and all the mistakes that they've made, which is normal when you have a new business. It's still making mistakes at times too. But the heart and the determination from, you know, being around Jorge Mas, I knew that they would have success because that dude was just laser focused on kicking ass. And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that this is happening. I'm glad it finally happened. You know, it took a few years to kind of get this thing going, but finally got it going in the right direction. What else do we have? Marlins defeat the Reds 5-4. Bell hit 2 home runs yesterday. Got 14 on the season. Old ass Cueto went 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 Ks. Got a 5.3 ERA. They're off today. Tomorrow, Los Yankees are in town. Jesus Lusardo will be taking on the sorry ass, underachieving, overpaid New York Yankees. You know, the Marlins always have an excuse. What's the Yankees' excuse? How incompetent is that franchise? Boy, they miss the old man. Without the old man, they're nothing. Ooh, I forgot to mention to Alan while he was on. You know, rest in peace, Robbie Robertson. Passed away yesterday at the age of 80. Apparently was battling a long-time illness. And of course, the founding member of the band, which played in Woodstock, was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, all of that stuff, man. And unfortunately, he passed away. But I will say this, when you look at it, he lived to 80 years old. You know, I don't think any of us can complain when you live to 80. And Robbie Robertson, by the way, okay, it's pretty awesome. Okay, played in Woodstock in 69, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 94. Okay. So this is amazing, right? He began singing backing tracks for Bob Dylan in 65. Okay. In 67, right? He had his group change the name to The Band. A year later, they released their debut album, Music from the Big Pink, named for the houses in West Socrates, New York, I think is how it's pronounced. I'm not sure. Where the group had been living, where they wrote many of the songs, including on the album rock classic The Wait. That was followed by his hits Up the Creek, The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down, before the group's star-studded farewell concert released as both an album and a film called The Last Waltz. Dylan and Hawkins joined the band for performances at The Last Waltz, held on Thanksgiving Day in 76 in San Francisco's Winterland Ballroom, along with other 60s and 70s rock icons, including Dr. John, Van Morrison, Joni Mitchell, and Neil Young. What a concert. So, him, of course, and Hawkins were at odds. Those two didn't get along. And they were always fighting for song credits. So that's why he put an end to the band. And he was like, you know, I couldn't take the bickering and all that kind of stuff. So he ended up, you know, breaking up the band. So Robertson released 6 albums. His last was 1987. And U2 and Peter Gabriel were on that one. He also worked on several film scores and soundtracks throughout his career with Martin Scorsese, who directed The Last Waltz. But Robertson wrote the original music for Raging Bull, The King of Comedy, The Color of Money, Killer of Flowers, Moon, and he produced a soundtrack for Casino. It's pretty amazing, Robbie Robertson. One hell of a career. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Let's give you what happened today in music history, right? Why don't we do some of that? On August 10th, in 1976, on this date, Elton John played the first of 10 sold-out nights at Madison Square Garden. In 92, on this date, Def Leppard kicked off the North American leg of their 248-date 7-day weekend world tour at Madison Square Garden. In 84, on this date, Red Hot Chili Peppers released their self-titled album. In 1999, Oasis guitarist Paul Bonehead Arthur left the band. And in 2010, on this date, Black Label Society released their 8th studio album, Order of the Black. Birthdays today. Let's go with birthdays. Let's see what we got here. Kylie Jenner is 26. Ja Morant, or Ja Moran, is 24. June Shannon, which is Mama June. She is 44. That's like one of the few reality stars I've ever read a birthday for because I don't know reality stars, but Mama June is one that everybody knows. Antonio Banderas is 63 years old today. Let's see. Jack Stone, TV actor, is 38. Do you know who Jake Stone is? Do you know who Jake Stone is, Sean? He is 38 years old today. He's a TV actor. Jake Stone. Don't go Googling it now. Yay or nay? Okay. Maybe you didn't know this because I didn't until right now. Jake Stone is Jake from State Farm. It's actually his real name. Jake from State Farm is really named Jake. Jake Stone. He's 38. I had no idea. I don't know about you guys, but I had no idea. So I just learned that right now. Let's see who else. Roy Keane, soccer player, 52 years old. Ronnie Spector. She was born on this date back in 1943. We just lost her last year in 2022. Let's see. Aaron Hall, soul singer, 59. Andre Drummond, basketball player, 30. Ricky Smiley, comedian, is 55. And Mr. Sausage, Jimmy Dean, born in 1928 on this date, died in 2010. Too many sausages. So that is what happened today in music history. How about that? By the way, the Knicks will always be the Knicks. And what do I mean by that? Josh Hart was just signed to a 4-year, $81 million deal. They are paying Josh Hart $20 million a year. I mean, he's a decent player. $20 million a year? Are you kidding me? $20 million. You're going to pay that guy $20 million. That's insanity. Is it just me? I mean, there's a shitload of you on the chat board. Am I going crazy here? That sounds like a desperate team that can't land any free agents. So they've either got to trade for them or draft them. They're like these teams like Sacramento and Detroit and Orlando and Charlotte and Milwaukee and all the places that are nuts free agent destinations. And this is New York. I'm sorry, $20 million for that dude? That's some crazy money, dude. I get it that they need him and all that, but $20 million. Yeah, no, Ray, I agree with you. He's a role player, a good role player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's not a $20 million player. Wow. I saw that and I freaked out. I said, wow, this is very New York Knicks. And I don't know if we have any Knicks fans watching right now, but I can't imagine you're like, yeah, that was a great deal. I don't see that. Eric says Seattle had one of the 4 worst O-lines in the NFL last year and still had a good year on offense. Just makes it tougher against top Ds. Yeah. Everybody's got O-line problems, dude. Everybody. Philly and San Fran are like the only ones. And if the big dudes can't stay healthy for San Fran, that'll end up because he's having some issues physically. But if he doesn't hold up, okay. Yes, sir, Brett. Robbie Robertson was a Canadian legend, such a talented dude, no doubt. Fall from grace for Keith Jackson out here in California, not doing well, practically homeless. Really? Keith Jackson, the tight end, is practically homeless? Wow. It's a lot of these guys, man. They didn't manage the money that they made, and then life after football. It's a twisted dynamic. You know why? Because we all go through life, us normal people, okay? We get to a point when we're 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25. You know, those years of 15 to 25 might even extend to 30. It's a point in all of our lives that we're trying to figure out where we belong. And it's the hardest thing in the world to figure out what you are, what you excel at. It might be teaching, it might be a police officer, it might be a broadcaster, it might be a coffee maker, it might be whatever it is. You don't know. And it's the scariest part of our lives because you see your parents and they've been working for years and they have their career and they're a coal miner and a secretary and a car salesman and a doctor and a lawyer and all. And then, to you, they got their shit together at least. And then as a young person, you're trying to figure out, well, what really do I want to be? And it's hard, man. Right? But then athletes, they get to play a game, a child's game. And then this child's game allows you to grow up and be an adult and get paid to be an adult to play a child's game. Wow, dude, what a concept. You're paying me to play a child's game? That's awesome. But the problem is you can't work it as long as you can drive a bus, teach kids, be a cop if you can stay alive. You know what I'm saying? But stockbroker, whatever it is, there's lots of jobs you can take that will last you for your entire lifetime. Football is not going to be one of those, right? And so then all of a sudden, you never had to make a decision because you were already playing a kid's game and you grew up playing that kid's game and you were able to do what you love. But now all of a sudden, the game ends. And you're 28, 30, 33, 34. And all of a sudden, you're back to being 15 and 20 again. Unless you have the money and then you're smart enough so you can live out the rest of your life and hang out. Now, in Keith Jackson's world, you never had that chance because you didn't make that kind of money. Nowadays, you have that kind of money that you can make it if you're smart, of course. Plenty of people blow their money and give it away and all that kind of stuff. But think about this. The stage that you and I go through when we're young, they now have to go through it after when they're adults. And if they don't have the money, they have to find a way. And you watch a Kim Bocamper, the late, great Jim Mad Dog Mandich, you watch Joe Rose. These are all gentlemen that they couldn't live off the money that they made for football. They had to go make their lives again and had to figure out. So they came to a crossroad all over again. And it's a shell shock because you're older now. So everything is not on the table anymore for you. And your skill set limits you to what you can do. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard. And if you're Keith Jackson or you're any of these other guys, like many of them, they couldn't find their way after football. And they didn't take care of their money and they lost their money. And then now they got to pay bills. And it's sad, man. It's sad. It's scary too, because think about it. You're an older man at this point and you have no direction. You have no skill set. You have no way of supporting yourself. That's rough, dude. When you're 15 or 20, you have time to make mistakes and figure things out. When you're older, bills will pile up. People don't have tolerance. You know what I'm saying? It's a twisted dynamic, man. It really is. But I didn't know that about Keith Jackson. I'm not surprised because lots of players, that happens to them, unfortunately. The Knicks seem to like to have to overpay for players now since no one wants to go there. Exactly. Pat says members of U2 played on multiple tracks of Robbie Robertson's first solo album. Daniel Lanois was the mutual producer working on Joshua Tree as well. Yes, sir. You're correct. I have the album of Robbie Robertson working with U2. In today's NBA, Michael Jordan would make $200 million a year. He would make a lot of money. There's no doubt. Crazy money is going to another country to see a crazy money is going to another country to see a concert. What does that mean, Big Nick? What's your Jordan is NBA leader of all time, no category why he's the GOAT. But I don't know what does that mean, Big Nick? What does it mean crazy money is going to another country to see a concert? I don't understand what that means. Maybe when you can speak English and actually explain it and type it. I'm not sure if you're educated enough. I'm not sure if, but that sounds like you got a 5th grade education. So when you want to kind of explain it, maybe you might want to type it in English. When I was store manager at Starbucks, former NBA point guard Kenny Anderson was a regular. I would talk to him, and he would tell me basketball was easy for me. Life is hard. You're so right. We know he struggled. Yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah, man, because you're playing a kid's game. You don't get to grow up. You know what I mean? Some guys are smart enough that they grow up in the process and they get educated and understand business and get better at it and all that kind of stuff. Look at LeBron. LeBron didn't go to college. He went straight from high school to the pros. So he had to get the street education, the life education. He had to absorb what was going on around him in order to become smarter and better and become a better, business person. And he did it. But it's up to you. You know what I mean? If you want to be a dumbass, you go ahead and be a dumbass. And then you're sitting there like Michael Beasley and you're telling, a local reporter here, I don't know. I still can't figure out why I'm not in the NBA. Really, dude? Are you still stoned? You can't figure it out? So it's up to you to have some, responsibility. So Josh Allen is slightly better version of Randall Cunningham, a little better accuracy, but otherwise they are twins. He's better. He's better. There's no doubt he's better. Brooklyn Rob says the mystique of playing for the Knicks in Madison Square Garden, I could never understand. They have not been relevant in 50 years. Yep. You're right about that. You're right about that. Big O, my brother, are you going to look to the Dwayne Wade Hall of Fame Saturday night? No, I'm not. I'm here in Montreal, Canada, bro. I'm here for concerts. I'm here for Alter Bridge tonight, and then Metallica Friday and Metallica Sunday. I'm here for myself, bro. I'm here to enjoy myself. I don't get to vacation. I never really have time off. So I am here personal. So it's not a Hall of Fame thing. But sir, if you'd like to pay for me and Sean to go to the Hall of Fame hotel and car and everything for us, I'll go cover it, my man, if you want. If you want to pay for it, you know what I mean? Because that's usually when I lose you, when you actually hear what reality is. It's between the chat. Oh, don't be dissing me. I support you. I don't. Okay. I still don't understand what the hell it is. It still doesn't make any sense what you said. It's not like a sentence that makes any kind of sense in anything. Oh, he means going to Canada to see Metallica. Is there something wrong with that? Money going to another country? So is he saying that he's complaining that I'm buying a Metallica ticket in Montreal or something? Is that what it is? Is the jingoism going that far? Is that what the conversation though? Because that's pretty silly if that's it. Really, LeBron is a great role model for kids. As much as people hate him, with his high school sweetheart and never in any controversy and tries to make the world a better place. Yeah, even though I hate what he did to Riley, and I'll never forgive him for that. So he'll never be in my good graces, unfortunately. I'm sure it really depresses him that he's not in my good graces. But he does everything pretty much outside of the Heat stuff. He does everything pretty awesome, bro. Never in trouble. He lifts people around him. You know, I think that's amazing. I think if you can help anybody, I think that's the best thing that you can do as a human being is help lift others because that lifts all of us at the same time. And so you can never really complain about LeBron in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Is he a drama queen and all that bullshit? Yeah, dude. Like with the bullshit he pulled now with the finals when he loses and I'm going to retire. I may retire. And it's like, bro, don't be such a coward. Take the loss. Deal with the loss. Don't try to throw a curveball at us so we can forget about your loss and we worry about your retirement when most of us with a brain were like, yo, dude, that doesn't fly here. We understand what you're trying to do. We're actually smart too. You know what I'm saying? So don't play that game with us. You know? So there are things that I don't like about LeBron, his little drama-like, bitch-like shit. But as a person, you can't complain how he's handled his career, how he's helped others, how obviously he has sacrificed for his teams. So those things can never be challenged with LeBron. That's for sure. Unless you're Skip Baseless. Big O, Nick was saying you have lots of money. You got crazy money. I wish. Shit, I wish. That would be nice. I doubt Nick said that because that's definitely not true. Anybody knows that I don't have crazy money. Anybody that sees me, crazy money doesn't work as hard as I do. So crazy money tells you guys, I'm taking the next week or two off. That's what crazy tells you. If I had crazy money. You only live once. You got to try to enjoy life because you never know what will happen the next day. Amen. Big O, last hurrah before football season begins. You deserve it. Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't have any other trips. Well, I do in December, actually. I do have one more trip in December that I am going to Vegas to see U2 at the Sphere on December 8th and 9th. I'll be back on the 10th. The 11th, they play Tennessee on a Monday night. So I'm back so I can work on Monday because I'm not rich. I don't have sick money. I wish. I wish. That would be nice. It would be nice not to have to be a working stiff your entire life. But, I've come to the realization that I will be a working stiff for the rest of my life. That's just kind of who I am. You know what I mean? And I'm all right with that. I don't have a problem earning my money and working for it and working hard. I have zero issue with that. Dion Waiters working out for the Warriors. I thought that was funny. Dion Waiters, Kent Bazemore, Tony Snell, Juan Toscano Anderson, Harry Giles, Trey Burke, all working out for the Warriors. So Dion Waiters trying to make himself a comeback. That's hilarious, dude. That is kind of funny. I was scratching my head when Riley signed him to that deal, knowing he needed surgery and Riley would sign him to that contract. That was baffling, I got to say, on Riley's part. That was incredibly baffling that he did that. Did you guys see the story on Johnny Manziel? That one is one that is not surprising at all. So Johnny Manziel has a new Netflix documentary. I have not watched it. I really have no interest in watching this clown. I was never a Johnny Manziel believer, ever. not in college, and I expected him to be a bust like he was in the NFL. So apparently, in this documentary, in his Untold Johnny Football documentary, Manziel admitted that he had watched no film during his time with the Cleveland Browns. Manziel's former agent Eric Burkhart relayed a story about how the Browns confronted him about Manziel's lack of film study. He says, their GM is calling me going, he doesn't watch tape, Burkhart said. I'm like, well, he's got to watch some tape. And he's like, his EB, his iPad hours is 0.00. So Manziel, they asked him to confirm it, and he said, true, 0. So Manziel played in 14 NFL games, started 8 of them, going 2-6 in those starts. He managed to win twice despite his lack of commitment. It is pretty remarkable in itself. It's also unfortunately uninspiring as it fits Manziel's party-focused attitude during his NFL career, as well as some of the honest admissions he has made in his NFL career since it ended. So the revelation about Manziel's film study habits was not even the most dramatic part of the documentary, which debuted on Netflix on Tuesday. So if you want to watch a train wreck, not that I need to tell you what a train wreck Johnny Manziel is, but Johnny Manziel, the train wreck, you could go ahead and watch it. He didn't watch 1 ounce of film. So he just went out there and played. And the games those 2 games that they won, it probably wasn't because of him. They probably won because the defense made some plays or the running game or something along those lines with Manziel. How crazy is that? The dude never watched any film. Jamarcus Russell apparently was like that too, that he didn't watch much film either. That he didn't put any work into it. When you give people guaranteed money and they don't have to work for it, look at Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is the laziest, gutless, maybe the laziest and most gutless athlete I've ever seen in my life. And he'll continue to be that because just like Zion Williamson, they accomplished nothing and you give them hundreds of millions of dollars. So they look around and they say, well, I didn't have to earn it. I didn't have to do anything for it. It's crazy, dude. Makes no sense whatsoever. Remember, folks, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Let's see. Oh, Big O, make room for poutine. It's delicious, but damn filling. I will. Frank says, I turned 52 October 8th. Years to retirement still. Amen. We'll be grinding for a while, my brother. We'll be grinding for a while. Oh, no doubt that Waiters was with Tobin a few weeks ago, floating the idea of a comeback. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's one interview I would not entertain. That's just a bullshit interview. Somebody that's not really even serious, and just I can't take that guy serious. You know what I'm saying? So, Big O, treat yourself to a great birthday gift and go to Power Trip Festival in October. Metallica, Iron Maiden, Guns N' Roses, Tool, AC/DC. Yeah, I saw it, but yeah, that's a lot of money that I don't have. Okay, I saw it. It's a lot of money that I don't have. If I was as filled up with cash like that other dude thinks I have, then I would go. Someone forgot to tell Johnny Football the NFL does not need an alcoholic, dysfunctional QB. Yep. Oh, apparently the story that Manziel comes from money was a lie. Oh, really? Is it that he come? Now, again, I did not watch the documentary, don't really care, but was it that he doesn't come from money or that they don't want to give him money. That they like Tori Spelling. Like Tori Spelling was written off the will. So when Aaron died and all that, because he had his, him and the daughter did not get along very well. And so apparently he didn't leave her much or anything, I think. So it was like she was screwed in that sense. Now she had her own stuff with 90210 and the reality show she had with her, I think now going to be ex-husband, right? Because I think they're finally breaking up. That was such a dysfunctional family. Those two were so weird in the way they handled everything. But it's not something that I haven't seen before. Oh, I've been working out in the sun the past few days, catching up on the show. I like what I've seen from Peely, the nose tackle. What do you think? Well, he's looking like he's going to make the team as that final big man on the roster in the interior. So Brendan Peely has played very well. You are correct, Eric. I'm sorry, yes, Eric. Anthony says, enjoy the shows. I saw Iron Maiden in '96 as Charlotte the Harlot. That was their original name. Small venue in Lemoris, New York. In '96. '96, they were Iron Maiden. Or are you just telling me a fact of what they used to call themselves? What else do we have going on? How about this? Did you see the Henry Ruggs story? Is it just me? There was this technicality with the blood, and so apparently they could not get everything that they wanted to get on this moron, and so the Ruggs story is kind of twisted, man. So former Raiders receiver Henry Ruggs was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in Nevada State Prison after he pleaded guilty in the fatal DUI crash that killed the 23-year-old Tina Tintor. Okay, now 3 to 10 years is not enough. I'm sorry. The 24-year-old appeared in Clark County District on Wednesday for the sentencing hearing. The collision occurred in a Vegas street early November 2nd of 2021. He was leaving Top Golf near the Strip where he had been with 3 other people, including his girlfriend. Police say Ruggs was drunk, driving his Corvette at 156 miles an hour before he crashed into Tintor's Toyota RAV4. The impact ruptured the gas tank, killing Tintor and a golden retriever, Max. Tintor was 23 years old. His blood alcohol content was found to be 0.16, twice the legal limit in Nevada. He initially faced up to 50 years for the charge of DUI resulting in death, DUI resulting in substantial bodily harm, 2 counts of reckless driving resulting in death, or substantial bodily harm, and possession of a firearm while under the influence. He accepted the plea deal for the sentence in May and has been under house arrest with alcohol and location electronic monitoring since. The deal offered a substantial decrease in prison time due to the issues in the case surrounding the search warrant police used to draw Ruggs' blood at the hospital following the crash. The Clark County District Attorney's Office said in a statement released in May that the prosecutors believed that there was a chance the felony DUI charges against Ruggs would be dismissed because the blood draw results could be suppressed if there was no plea deal. So on a technicality, see, here's my problem with all this technicality bullshit. What does the blood have to do with anything? You were driving in a residential area at 156 miles an hour and you killed a woman. Whether you were straight or whether you were drunk, I don't give a shit, dude. You should be rotting in jail for the rest of your life. 3 to 10 for an irresponsible act like his is disgusting. It's despicable. What a joke our legal system is. Who cares about how you drew the blood? Bro, you killed a woman. You lit that woman on fire, bro. She died burning up, dude. Can you imagine dying that way? Not that there's any right way to die, but she's 23 years old. She will never live her life, ever. Her parents will never see her again. Her loved ones will never see her again. She'll never grow up to have a career. Who knows what she could have been? So am I supposed to exchange and have sympathy for Ruggs over her? No. And for any of you out there saying, hey, oh, he's still young, fuck him, dude. He needs to burn in hell, dude. It's disgusting, bro. Disgusting that this is how I would be treated. He is a murderer, period. That dude should fry in hell for what he did to that woman. Anyway. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. So 3 to 10 years, no life in prison because of some stupid technicality on the blood. When it's murder, either way you slice it. All right, we are out of here. We thank Joe Shad, Alan Poupart. We thank Marcel Louis Jacques. We thank, of course, the legend that is Sean Stanley, the man that masters this program every single day. Appreciate it. When's the wrestling show? Thursday? Tonight? Tonight, wrestling show? Right? I don't know. You tell me. Tomorrow night? Saturday? Sunday? He's doing 5 straight wrestling shows every night. Him and Frankie are going to go on a wrestling marathon. In fact, they're going to oil wrestle too. On top of all of that, when's the oil wrestling going live, Sean? Tuesday? Next Tuesday. Live oil wrestling, Sean and Frankie Fresco. Bets are in. Let's go. Okay. ESPN Bet. It'll be on there. You can go to it and check it out. All right. We're out of here. We will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a good one.